Yeah, it's always a little bit gratifying, especially in that kind of situation where it's like almost no expectations. Like coach is like,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't, you can come out if you want, I guess, and then you're like really showing up. I feel like that's gotta feel pretty nice.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And it just, it shows you just the more you run, the better you get at it. It's
Yeah,
not, I mean, a lot of people are born with natural talent, but also it's something you really can just work at and get a lot better, which is really nice.
yeah. There's a swim coach I talked to. So after I ran in college and then transitioned to triathlon, and I kind of worked with the college's swim coach for a little while. And he always said, and I think this applies to running too, is that he the sprinters, he was just like, it's genetic. They're either fast or they're not. And there's not a
Hmm.
whole lot you can do about that. There's some training, but he was like, he loved working with the distance swimmers because it was all about hard work. Obviously, there's still some genetic component, but he was like, there's much more play in terms of how you train them and how good they can get through training alone than just
Exactly.
being limited by that genetic component.
Hmm. I know that's a kind of special thing about our sport, I think.
Yeah. So then this is the other thing I'd love to ask because you're the only I think the second person I've had on that does a steeplechase, so I did the steeplechase as well. What convinces you to do the steeplechase? Because people come to it from different reasons. I'm sure you saw there were plenty of teams that are like, "You're not good at anything else, so go do the steeplechase." Was it that? It doesn't sound like you came at it from that approach. So how do you get to there?
I did gymnastics all up until senior year of high school, so
Mhm.
my coach just thought I'd be good at it and said you should give it a try, and it was so much fun. I love that event. It's a great event.
How did the first one? This is what I love to talk about with steeplechasers. How did the very first time go, if you remember?
Um, I think it went slowly and painfully, but fairly well. Besides that, no no major wipeouts, and made it to the end of the race, and yeah, I was hooked after that. Loved it.
Yeah, much like to me, it's almost like another level of running where it's like you talk to people like you mentioned earlier. You talk to people and they're like, "Why do you run?" And then you're like, "Oh yeah, I do the steeplechase." It's like, "What's that?" And you're like, "Oh, there's if I remember right, 24 barriers and then
Mhm.
seven jumps over the pit." And people are like, "Wait, why do you do that?" Like
Yeah.
that sounds even worse. And then you say it is with a smile on your face.
Yep, exactly. But it's also so gratifying, and uh, I don't know. There's something fun about it, getting all wet and
Yeah.
kind of like jostling for position in the water pit, and it's more like what's it called? Like an optical obstacle course, like a Tough Mudder or something. It's like that
Hmm.
level of. It's just fun.
I always felt the reason I asked about the first time is because I know. So we trained for it, and like you're doing hurdles in practice, doing like, you know, 400, 800 meter repeats with hurdles, so you get used to going over the hurdles and then also running. And despite all that training, I just remember the very first time my lungs being on fire by the end of it, just incredible suffering. And I was just like, why did I decide I wanted to do this? I mean, continue to do it, but I just remember it being incredibly painful to me. And then as I ask, that seems to be the common experience with almost anybody. So that's why I like to ask.
Yeah. Yeah, you hit the wall in that event like no other.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because we're not really, we're not really built to run and jump over and over and over and over again. It's like, it's like a, what am I gonna say? It's like a very brutal fartlek because
Hmm.
you're already running at top speed, but you also have to put in these little bursts every 20, 30 seconds.
Yeah, and hope that you don't crash into the barrier and wipe out.
Yeah, that was, I can't remember what my coach always said. He had a phrase basically, it was like, you know, hurdlers don't have to worry about the hurdle so much. If they hit a hurdle, the hurdle will move. If you hit a barrier, you're the one that's going to
Right.
move. The barrier's not going
You're going
anywhere.
down. Exactly. Yeah.
So you apparently loved it enough to continue after college. You're saying there weren't a lot. I think this was before we got going. You're mentioning there weren't a ton of people doing the steeplechase post collegiately.
Mm-hmm.
So why continue? Apparently you liked it that much, but I mean, why not just be like, I'm gonna do the other stuff that doesn't hurt as much?
I enjoy hurdling, and I just like the event. I don't know. I just wanted to keep doing it, and um, I guess I kind of ended my collegiate career a little bit like I was a little annoyed at how I didn't ever make it to nationals
Mm-hmm.
for the steeplechase because one year I broke my ankle in the water pit, landed on a little funny, and
Okay.
then senior year I had one last chance kind of to make it, and it was the night of graduation, and I convinced my parents to drive me up to Chicago to do this like last chance meet, and somebody, the girl behind me, jumped on me in the water jump and spiked my ankle, and
Oh,
I had to go to the emergency room and get stitches. So I was kind of like, oh, like unfinished business. So so I couldn't give it up quite yet. Had to keep doing it a little bit post collegiately.
yeah. When you were saying you thought that was 2014, 2015, somewhere in there, and you
Mm-hmm.
graduated in 2010. So it wasn't just a matter of like doing it the next year. I mean, I mean, that's a whole collegiate career later that you're still after it. So it had to have bothered you
It was
at least a little bit.
yeah, I didn't do it very many times because they don't have very many races post collegiately that offer the steeplechase.
Right.
But just when one arrives, I give it a shot.
Yeah. So what are you doing now? So now this is the same kind of position I'm in, where we're basically 10 years post college. I don't know about you, but starting to slow down maybe just a little bit, trying to stave that off. Um, Still running
Mm-hmm.
marathons. What's the plan now?
Um, I had a baby in December,
Okay.
so that put a little damper on my career for a little while.
Are you not you so
But I'm
you're not
just
the
starting.
lady like that's 9 months pregnant finishing a marathon?
No, I ran half with him when I was maybe 3 months pregnant, but yeah, so I did stop for a while. And then after giving birth, of course, you can't run for a little while. So
Right.
I'm just getting back into it now. Really nice. It feels good to be back, and my dog appreciates it wherever he is. Mango, come here. He's my running buddy, and he has been going crazy with me not running. Mango, come here, say hi. Mango. He's being stubborn.
That's
But
okay.
yeah, so I'm just getting back into it now. So I don't know. I'm hoping that I can run a qualifying marathon this year so that I can run Boston next year. So hopefully, the qualifiers you need to be in by September. So hopefully sometime this summer I can try and run one. We'll see if I'm in good enough shape by then.
I would say,
That's the hope.
I was obviously giving us both a hard time about getting older, but as far as marathon times go, if there's any inspiration, so one of my high school coaches, she ran at KU, and the last few years, she's felt like, I'm getting older, I'm getting slower, I'm just not going to do anything. And she finally figured out that I don't know if she had like an iron deficiency,
Mhm.
but she did something and kind of broke through and then has been running her best marathon times ever. And she's now in her, I want to say early 40s.
Wow.
So it can still continue, especially with those longer
Yeah.
distances. Like you got plenty of time. So no
Yep.
matter what happens, I would just say, stay the course. Don't worry about it. Do it. If you want to do it, keep doing it.
Hmm.
Because I think our bodies have, especially in those longer distances, I think we've got more room to run.
Yeah.
No pun intended. Than we think we do.
Yeah, I agree. I think they said peak is mid 30s, I think, for marathon.
Often, often.
So I think I still have a couple good years, hopefully. And I I would love to break 3 hours. I don't know if it will happen, but
Yeah.
that'd be great. But you know, had to take some time off to have a baby, and that was definitely worth it. So not regretting that at
No,
all.
absolutely, absolutely. And I hope that what you find is that time off serves you better
Hmm.
than just continuing through. I know that for the longest time, over a decade, I only took off maybe a week or 2 weeks consecutively in a year at all. And then several years back, um, my coach said, okay, you need to take like 3 to 4 weeks off between seasons. And there's definitely a curve getting back in, but I noticed my ability to improve
Hmm.
was much greater having taken that little longer rest period and
Yeah.
really fully recuperating. So like I said, I'm hoping that you actually see that as a positive thing over time as you get back into it.
Yeah, that would be great. I'm definitely feeling like mentally ready because taking time off, you're like, oh, I just want to get back out there.
Yeah, yeah. So this is kind of the news of the day. Um, so I saw stuff about Boston and they're trying to figure out whether to cancel this year
Yeah.
because of the coronavirus. Um, I know this is as this recording comes out, it will be several weeks past this, but this is as we're doing the recording, this is basically the weekend for all the St. Patrick's Day parades here in town that have now all been canceled.
Right.
And like Kansas City has declared a state of emergency, and every gatherings over 1,000 people are canceled, and
Yeah.
the race this weekend was canceled, and NCAA tournaments canceled, and everything's canceled.
I know.
Um, so I'm wondering, in your neck of the woods, since you're in kind of a rural area, are you being affected much? Are people hoarding toilet paper where you are?
um, I haven't noticed much because I've been on maternity leave, so
Okay,
I'm just holed up at home anyways. But I did. Our school was canceled for a couple days just to like sanitize everything and make sure. I don't know. I think people don't really know what to do, so they're attempting to make some sort of precautions, but yeah. I mean, it hasn't been affected too much that I've noticed.
yeah. Well, my thought is, if Boston cancels, what kind of painting do you do for that race?
I know, it's interesting. I heard that they're going to move it to September, so
Okay,
um, I guess maybe some more fall colors instead of
okay,
spring. I don't
okay.
know.
See, and I hadn't seen that they would move it, which makes sense. It being such an iconic race, you don't want to just like outright cancel it if you don't have
Cancel.
to.
Especially for the people who qualified,
Right,
it'd be kind of a bummer for them not to be able to run, especially if they're coming from, another country or this is their one opportunity to run, which it is
right.
for some people, kind
Well,
of
it's
the
all
event of a lifetime.
it's you qualify and it's a lottery, isn't it?
No, not well. Okay, so for Boston, you qualify based on your age group. There's different times, and
Right.
based on how much faster than the qualifying time, you get to sign up earlier.
Okay.
So just the faster you are, the earlier you get to sign up, and then once it's filled up, it's filled up.
Okay. Okay. For some reason, I thought there was some lottery system with it. Maybe I'm thinking of Kona though. With Ironman, there is a lottery system for
A lot of
amateurs
them
with
there
that.
are. New York Marathon, Chicago, I think is a lottery now. Um, a lot of them are, but not Boston's just based on times.
That seems to make sense though, right? I mean, it's like it's a little elitist, I suppose, but I guess that's part of the point in
That's
that
yeah,
you are the fastest, so you get to go.
right.
And it's just like first come first serve. Yeah, it works similarly for like world championships in triathlon or um, yeah, for like 70.3, which is a half Ironmans, or even like the Olympic distance. If you qualified, it's top, whatever, 15, 20 at a race. You have to go afterwards to sign up. If you don't, it rolls down to the next 5 spots, kind of first come first serve. So,
Right.
which is fair, I think.
Yeah. I think it's nice. And there are charity spots. So people run, if you haven't qualified, you can run for a charity. You have to raise
Yeah,
money, but yeah.
yeah, a little extra layer.
Mhm.
Um, so I hope as we're starting to run a little bit out of time, um, there's a question I'm asking everybody this year, since it varies from person to person. And I love to hear this. I'm asking everybody, what do you think the purpose of sport is?
Hmm. I think it is maybe keeping yourself mentally, physically sharp and uh, happy, and just yeah, feeling alive and feeling like good about yourself. I think
Mhm.
I'm not because you're accomplishing something, just because you're getting out there every day and you know, moving your body and uh, yeah, keeps me sane. So I think it's a good thing for everyone to do.
It's good. Like I say, I love everybody's answer because everybody's different. And, it could come from, like, I think we both come from this place where it's like running is more than just getting out and moving your legs.
Hmm.
So the asking that question, at least for me, kind of gives me the opportunity to see what are people's motivations and like what feeds you, what feeds your soul.
Hmm.
That's kind of the heart of like what I'm after. So I appreciate you answering it. Hope if people want to find you, see your artwork, maybe commission an artwork from you, where can they find you?
My website is paintingsbyhope.com. And that's also my Instagram, although I don't update all that often since I live kind of off the grid. But yeah, so paintingsbyhope.com. And also my email is hopephalanart@gmail.com.
Sounds good. Thanks for spending some time with me today, Hope.
Thank you. Nice talking to you.
Take care.